Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Best Investing Money Management channel on YouTube. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the one, the only ticker symbol AMD, why I am buying more of this company. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys get anything in value out of this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, concerns, ask them down below. Now, for those of you that don't know what AMD is a computer and graphics card company. They make a whole bunch of things, computer parts related, but overall, over the past couple of years, we've seen extreme growth from them just because of the overall demand for electronics in general and computer parts. So if we actually zoom out and we see this chart, you'll notice one thing, right? We had this absolute beautiful upward trend, hit $164 and then just got absolutely obliterated, selling off from 164 all the way down to as low as about $82 a share. Now, during this time, yes, we had general sell-off in just the general market, which definitely caused AMD to continue to sell off even more, right? If we actually zoom in a little bit so we can see it, if you'll notice that, whoa, there we go right there. January was right in here, and this is just in general where the whole market just started selling off. So the stock was about $145 a share, and then it just sold off just because of general sell-off. And if we look at the S&P 500 here, you will notice a very similar thing, right? We have January and just general sell-off ever since. So given that AMD has pretty much just been selling off for that reason, that is a great reason to buy shares, right? Looking at their earnings, they still bring in so much money. They brought in about $5.9 billion. This was a huge surprise for AMD, definitely causing a little bit of some price action, right? A lot of people wanting to buy this thing up, went from about $90 all the way up to $106. Not to mention the previous earnings did very, very well. Brought in about $4.8 billion, still a huge surprise. The previous earnings brought in about 4.3. Then we have, 3.8. So one thing is they're growing, right? They're growing at a astonishing rate. And that's what you look for pretty much any growth stock. And looking at the revenue here, 70% increase, 65%, 68%. So in general, this company is not slowing down. It's slowing down at all. And a lot of people like to say, Carter, AMD's never going to make it in the long run. Well, I have a couple of questions for people that think like that, right? Do you think we are getting more or less dependent on computers and technology? Ask yourself that question. Personally, I think we are getting more and more dependent on technology, AI. There's autonomous driving. Everything is just kind of gearing towards that metaverse, and we need computers to run the metaverse. And given AMD makes computers and computer parts, it's definitely worth having in your portfolio. Looking at their cash on hand, they have about $6.5 billion, and this was an increase of 109%. And comparing it to their long-term debt, they do have about $1.4 billion in debt. And a lot of people like to say, Carter, $1.4 billion is so much in debt. It is, but when a company's bringing in billions of dollars, that's not that much. Comparing it to their long-term debt, as long as they have more cash on hand than long-term debt, I'm not really too worried about it, to be honest with you. And if we actually look at their profit margin is at about 18%, 17.98%. Meaning, for every $100 AMD brings in, they profit about $18, which is pretty decent comparing it to other technology companies. Apple, which has way more supply chain and all that stuff, is sitting right at about a 22% profit margin. So they are not far behind. And looking at it here, the average price target for AMD is about $34, $134, and as high as $200, with a low forecast of 100. Given that we're already over 100, I think if we actually just go with the average here, if that just say it hits 100 and $136. We're still looking at a $30 per share, which is a return of right at about 20%, which is pretty decent, right? This is a short-term play that I definitely think it carries a ton of potential, meaning, there's going to be some short-term volatility. The stock's going to go up and down, but overall, the long-term outlook for AMD is very, very large. I would not be surprised if this thing hits $200 a share in the next 2 years, just given the overall rate of growth that this thing has had. And even if half of it continues, we're still looking at, a ton of growth in the long run, guys. But overall, AMD is an absolute no-brainer investment and one that I am going heavy in. So guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will see you guys later. Remember to stay happy, stay positive, and stay safe. And guys, one last thing. Yes, this one's going to be a little more higher volatility, a little higher risk. Keep it under 5% of your portfolio and let that thing ride. So guys, we'll see you later. Remember to stay happy, stay positive, and stay safe. Take care.